It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America and around the planet, 866-90 Red Eye. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. You know, one has to wonder, Eric, now that the Fetterman rule and the slob elitism of the Senate Democrats, we call it slob elitism because they can all dress like slobs now, but only they can do it.
Yeah.
Their staff can't do it. Others can't do it. Only the senators can dress like slobs.
Or morning DJs.
Or more, yeah, exactly. Or morning DJs.
Yeah.
That's true. What else?
He needs a Hawaiian shirt.
What else would be acceptable? Having your pants down real far with the underwear showing?
Yeah. Or a ponytail when you really don't have that much hair.
One of the best things my dad ever did. Ever. And this has to go back. My nephew's in his mid-30s now, so this has to go back about 17 years. So my father would have been about 80 when he did this.
Yeah.
So my father was 80 years old, and that's when, they were, maybe he was younger, but he was in his late 70s, but, that's when they were still, walking around and their pants were low and the underwear was showing.
Yeah.
So my father did it. He walks through the living room, and my nephew and all of my nephew's friends are in there. And my father just walks through real slow, and his pants are way down there, and his boxer shorts are hanging out. Thing is, that's all he had to do because they all died laughing. Why? They understood the stupidity of it.
Right.
I mean, what can you? You start thinking about now that Fetterman, and gym shorts and a hoodie are acceptable.
Yeah.
And we covered this, by the way, in the first hour of the show, much more seriously, because our serious things to it really is incredible, because they're treating him like he's a child.
Right.
We need to cater.
It has nothing to do with his disability.
Nothing to do. No, he has the capability of putting on a suit every single day.
Yep.
It's for whatever reason they're doing this it's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
Well, I want to know what skeletons of Chuck Schumer he has in a closet somewhere. Seriously.
And the Democrats have no argument. They were trying to argue on social media. They got blasted. Why is it such a big deal to you guys? It's a big deal to you guys. What are you talking about? Because it doesn't apply to everyone. So Schumer is admitting that there are standards that must be upheld by everybody except the senators.
Right.
Argue that. You can't argue it.
Nope.
It's slob elitism. We get to be the slobs. We are the elite. We're the slobs.
You don't get to be.
You don't rise to our. Your form of servitude is to wear the suit that we don't have to wear. We can dress as a slob.
We are the stewards of the upper chamber.
We are the Senate. We are the deliberative, the serious body of Congress, of our bicameral legislature.
Blah, 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 blah.
We
don't grope each other in front of Beetlejuice.
We don't date Chinese spies.
We don't date Chinese spies who then quite possibly floated balloons over Montana. No, we don't do that.
We don't refer to other senators as pencil neck geeks.
No. Yeah.
Oh, man. We are the Senate. We bring decorum. That's the thing that burned him big time, that burned Schumer, is the fact that it only applies to senators, which means they're only doing it for Fetterman. And there's no reason, there is no physical reason.
This is for one person.
Yeah.
One person.
To dress like a slob.
Yep.
I wish to dress like a slob.
Right.
Oh, sorry, you can't criticize him because he had a stroke. What are you talking about? Is a stroke keeping him from dressing and putting on a suit every day? No.
No.
Did you use that as an excuse that we do this because he has a disability and can't dress himself? No. That wasn't used. None of those excuses were used.
Seriously, he's got to have the goods on Chuck Schumer.
What does he have on Schumer?
Man, it must be big. Like Schumer's written a check to the Trump campaign. Something.
Was Schumer at some kind of Hollywood party with his cousin?
Yeah.
Something bad happened?
Maybe.
Amy Schumer, I think, is his cousin or something, or
yeah,
second niece or a third niece, or I don't know.
Yeah, something.
Something like that. I know they are.
Yeah, they're related.
Jeez.
No, I mean, you've got to have the goods on him because remember when this all began, when he won, when Fetterman won, the question from the media, well, are you going to dress this way? And he said, well, I'll abide by the rules.
Exactly, yep.
And then, whatever the dress code is, then all of a sudden the dress code changes for one guy and has nothing to do with his disability.
No.
Wow. I don't know. Does Fetterman, is every union member on the planet, loyal to Fetterman? I mean, does Fetterman control them like, Aquaman controlling all the seahorses? Is it like that? If you guys want union members to vote for you, you got to come through me because I have special powers. I mean,
I doubt it.
But it's bizarre.
I know it's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It really is just weird,
right? And the thing is, they make it. Schumer made it weird by saying this is only for the senators. Everybody else,
right.
Every interns that
right.
don't make, they're not making money like we're
Fetterman
making.
staffers,
all the staffers, the interns, any guest, everybody must be dressed properly, except Fetterman.
Yeah,
because that's what it's about.
Yep.
And there's no reason given for it.
Nope.
There's no reason.
Nope.
And it's just implied you can't touch this one because he had a stroke. Well, was that the reason that you did it? Well, we won't talk about that.
Right.
Well, because it's not the reason you did it.
No, it's not.
You realized that Fetterman represents, well, I don't want to say it because I really don't mean it, but it's just too good not to say.
Yeah.
Fetterman represents the slobs of Pennsylvania.
The SOP.
I'm kidding. I don't want to get into Obama trouble.
Yeah. They cling to their hoodies and basketball shorts.
Yeah. Who was it who wrote the line? Was it from National Review? Somebody wrote the line earlier. Even Philadelphia Eagles fans dress better than Fetterman.
Right. Well, I was thinking about it because, when I think basketball shorts, then I'm thinking, okay, well, I mean, unless you're a player, if you're sitting courtside, unless you're a player, you're probably dressed. You're certainly dressed better than that, I'm guessing. Okay, one other person on the planet. One other person. Adam Sandler.
He can get away with it.
He gets away with it. But he's not a senator.
Yeah.
He's just a guy worth about $500 million making silly movies.
I like clinging to your hoodies and your gym shorts.
Clinging to
That's
your
the best.
hoodie and basketball shorts. Slobs of Pennsylvania. Sounds like a movie, doesn't it? It really is.
You know, you mention it because happened to me a couple weeks ago, and it was like 110.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had a T-shirt on, and I threw on my gym shorts, and I had, sneakers on. So,
yeah.
But it's 110. I'm going to the store, and I felt like I shouldn't be dressed this way.
Oh, man. I always feel. You know what I feel like? You know the dream? You have. I've had it. People talk about it. You're like in a mall, and then all of a sudden you look down and you realize you don't have any clothes on, and you're like freaking out. I feel like I am not dressed. And I've done it a couple of times, where I've had a T-shirt and gym shorts, and I go to get gas in my truck or something. I'm just going to run a quick errand and come. But I'm thinking to myself, well, what happens? What happens if I actually have to get out and, go into an establishment or what? Because I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable dressing that.
No, I don't have that dream.
Yeah.
Where I look down and I'm naked.
Oh, no, it's a common dream. No, it's a very common dream. And it's about,
Is it, folks?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And so, I don't feel like I'm dressed. And my kids will tell you. This goes back a ways. My second daughter, she was going out to get, she was in high school then. That's how long ago it was. And her car was parked on the street, and she had a book in her car for homework, and it was dark. She was going out in her long pajama pants and a muscle shirt, a tank top. I said, put something on over it. And I just, because it's just a dad looking out for his daughter. It wasn't necessarily about decorum, but it was like, look, just put a sweatshirt on or something. Put a hoodie on or something. And if I'm going somewhere with someone, I wouldn't want to show up looking like Fetterman. Unless I was there to play basketball.
Yeah.
I can't imagine showing up to Capitol Hill dressed like. How do you not feel like, oh, I can't get out of the car. I got to get dressed. How do you not feel that? How does it not overwhelm you to the point of, listen, I don't know what take me to Men's Warehouse. I don't know what we got to do, but I got to get dressed. I'm not getting out of this car. Here's my suit size. Go in. We got to get me dressed. I just can't imagine. And that's the difference. And I mentioned it earlier, but for those just joining us, the difference is between a rule in terms of a dress code and a personal standard as an individual. His standard won't change. The rule can change. His standard won't change either way. And he's going to be the one that looks like the slob.
Because that would be the question as a reporter I'd ask to Schumer. Why are you doing this?
Right.
Does
you're not facilitating.
Because
you're not helping him in any way. There's
right.
no reason that he needs this because of his.
But you haven't set the standard for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You simply, you did this for Fetterman. Nobody else
right.
is deviating from the dress code.
Right.
Only Fetterman is.
Right.
And you've stated that everybody else must abide by it.
Right.
So apparently you do believe there has to be some sense of decorum inside the Senate chambers except for him.
Right.
Why?
Why?
What does he have on you?
Right. What have you done?
Why would you do something so stupid that makes no sense that everybody looks at it and go, well, you haven't, if you changed it for everyone,
mm-hmm.
then there could be no argument against you maybe.
Right.
Except the decorum that why are you not aren't you treating the Senate with respect?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously you believe that there should be some respect for the institution because everybody else, except if you're a member of Congress, and no member of Congress is dressing like Fetterman except Fetterman.
Yeah.
So why are you doing this?
Right.
Does he not have the capability of dressing himself?
Right.
In a suit?
Explain to me the hardship that creates for him.
Just bizarre. Just bizarre. It really is. 866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Sustainability and food insecurity, the subject of an Axios Forum Wednesday. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack during the event offered his thoughts on the connection between the two.
We need and have a responsibility, given the incredible productivity of our land in the United States, we have a responsibility to respond to the growing climate crisis and the link that it has, making it more difficult for developing countries to produce what they need to produce for their own people. That requires, I think, not only a commitment to the food programs that we have at USDA and USAID, but it also, I think, requires a renewed commitment to agricultural research.
Acknowledging the need to develop innovations domestically, learn about advances in developing countries, and share such technologies and practices.
I think there are practices that are indigenous knowledge here in this country and elsewhere that could be helpful to us in terms of our own ability to maintain productivity.
I'm Ron Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Well, we're ready to Wednesday. We really haven't talked about the impeachment inquiry and what's going on there. Interesting yesterday. A lot of the focus was on Hunter Biden's lawyer recently claiming that, how everything has shifted, that now Hunter Biden did not share money with President Biden. Did not share money, did not share his business with his dad, did not share his money. And it's like the interesting thing is they're saying, and this hasn't even been brought up yet, and Republicans should do this more often because they use that as a talking point. And what's the answer to that when they say, well, Hunter never did not share money with the president? What's the response that McCarthy should have immediately on that?
Well, for one thing, you shared it with the rest of the family, seemingly.
No. Hunter said he did in his emails.
Well, to his sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And others.
Yeah.
That Hunter said, we're going by all the evidence we have, because that's what they're saying. Well, there's no allegation whatsoever. You guys are making the allegation that Joe took money. There's no evidence that he took money. Well, yeah, there is. What? Hunter has stated it in writing that he shared money with his father.
Well, there's a lot of the things that the laptop items are, and it really all goes back to everything from that laptop. Think about it. I mean, there's, of course, testimony and everything else that we're going to hear from other witnesses. Clearly, I can't wait to see the list of witnesses they plan to call.
Three times he wrote to family members, three different times, in his own words, about supporting his father.
Yeah, right. Complaining about it.
Complaining, yep.
Right.
Yep.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio. from the Uniden America Studios.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Carney, and I'm Gary McNamara. So that's a problem for Hunter Biden there. That's a problem for the president right there, is and the media too. And this is where Republicans need to make sure they get their story straight, especially when they're on the Sunday morning news shows, where they say there's no evidence President Biden took the money. Yeah, there is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where? Hunter said it.
Yeah.
Hunter wrote it.
Right.
You should be asking the president, why did Hunter lying? They've never addressed that. That's never been addressed.
No.
The evidence, and we've stated this over and over again, this case is pretty easy to go after if you're looking to get more information. If your argument is we have probable cause to continue the investigation, and the response from the media is no, you don't, because you have no evidence that the president knew anything about his son's businesses or was rewarded. Well, sure we do. Where? Apparently, and this is where you can destroy the media, because I would say this is really embarrassing that you are asking these questions as if you're completely ignorant. Hunter Biden 3 times told his family and complained to his family about giving his father money. That, along with, we know the 20 LLCs existed in order to move that money to different Biden family members. And in his own words, he admitted it.
Yep.
Why haven't you asked the president whether what his son said was true or not? Do you think that if roles were reversed and it was Donald Trump Jr. stating 3 times in emails that he gave his father money?
Yeah, right.
Do you think that question, do you think the media would be walking around saying there's no evidence whatsoever that anything was, or any probable cause evidence?
Look at how they went crazy, bat soup crazy, over the meeting with Veselnitskaya. Remember also how that went down when Donald Trump Jr. came out and said, whoa, right now, I will post the entire thread of emails in setting up that meeting, that Trump Tower meeting with Veselnitskaya, the Russian lawyer. And I'll show you what it was about and the whole thing. And the media still, in fact, Adam Schiff carried it, all the way to The View and said the evidence of Russian collusion ultimately was at that meeting, which had already been vetted. The media just took that and pounded it into the ground and beat that dead horse endlessly. Can you imagine if it was about getting money from a foreign entity, not just one foreign entity, but multiple foreign entities, and then Donald Trump Jr.
admitted
in writing was complaining about having to give some of that money to his dad? Oh.
And you and I have said it. It's such a great opportunity to absolutely destroy the credibility of the mainstream media out there. They need to take advantage of it because they have not. And just Breitbart covered this. Hunter Biden's lawyer recently claimed his client did not share money with President Joe Biden, contradicting Hunter Biden's own messages to his family members. Lowell said, I can tell you that Hunter did not share his business with his dad. I can tell you he did not share money from his businesses with his dad. And as the evidence is out there, his dad, like all good parents, tried to help Hunter when Hunter needed that help. If he told that to CNN, the next question should have been, well, why did Hunter say he shared money with his father? Right?
Right, exactly.
Because that question needs to be answered. And it needs to be answered, well, he was lying at that point. So he was lying 3 times to his family that he was giving money to his father.
While we know for sure that there was money in the accounts of other family members.
Right. And here are the 3 times. The narrative changes contradict Hunter Biden's communications with his own family members. A total of 3 times Hunter Biden claimed that Joe Biden was involved in his finances. Quote, I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family. For 30 years, it's really hard, but don't worry. Unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. That's a quote, Hunter Biden writing to his daughter Naomi in January of 2019. Hunter Biden lashed out at the First Lady, Jill Biden, in a 2018 text message to his romantic partner and late brother's widow, calling her a selfish, silly, entitled C-word, and saying he financially supported the Biden family.
He called her a conservative? These are the things, but look, think about the nature, by the way, of these complaints.
Let me finish here. I supported my family, including some of the costs that you should have used your salary to pay for the last 24 years. The president's son also alleged in a 2018 text message to his assistant that he shared a bank account with Joe Biden and paid his bills for years. Wells Fargo account shut me out again. His assistant, Katie Dodge, texted Hunter Biden. Too many cooks in the kitchen, he replied, April 12th of 2018. Too many profile changes and such happened 10 days ago. What do you need? I'm going to the bank in a few. Need you to verify identity in person. I need to pay AT&T, the assistant said. Quote, my dad has been using most lines on this account, which I've, through the gracious offerings of Eric Schwerin, have paid for the past 11 years, Hunter replied. The text messages obviously are evidence that Joe Biden was financially involved with Hunter Biden, or at least probable cause to gather more evidence, unless the lawyers and Hunter Biden come out and say, I was lying about all of those.
But listen, it is a pattern of complaining. He is issuing these passionate complaints, and in the message to his daughter, he used the word half. I'm not going to make you give me half. That wasn't 10% to the big guy. That was half of everything he was getting.
Republican lawmakers are also curious about Joe Biden's 2017 tax returns, in which his entity, Celtic Capri Corporation, listed nearly $10 million without specifying revenue line items, raising concerns about who paid the entity and for what. It is apparently common for personal tax returns to not list item income of S corporation entities, according to Jerry Allison, CPA of Allison Financial Services, who practiced accounting for over 30 years. However, the lack of detail should raise concerns for House investigators, he noted.
Okay, and look,
what business is he in?
That may be right.
What
that
business
may be the case. Right. You know, it's not uncommon with S corps, except when you get into the $10 million range, and you are someone who is a vice president. What year was that on? What return was that? 2017.
2017, right.
So was that for his 2016 earnings, which would have included his time as vice president?
No, it says 2017
earnings.
Tax returns.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you were the former vice president at that time. $10 million of, and by the way, when you look at it, when you file your taxes and you have a business, even a small business that isn't your main revenue, and there's money coming in, it'll ask you, okay, what do you want to call your business if you're doing your own taxes, or if someone's preparing, what do you call your business? Well, in this case, it's an S corp. And then it would be, all right, what do you do? What's the nature of it? And the reason you do that.
But the date, just very quickly, get back to the date.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. 2017 returns, remember, it was 2017 where he was complaining that Hunter was complaining that they had not received the money that they wanted.
That's right. It was the summer of 2017.
or the spring, I believe, wasn't it? April or May or June? It was
the summer. Yeah,
it was after he was out of office in 2017.
Right.
So remember, he was president.
Well,
he was vice president.
It was after 6 months because at that time we were saying what would the Secret Service detail? I think that would have meant January 20th. It was past July 20th. I want to say it was July 27th. It was just past the 6 month mark of where the former vice president at that time would still be getting Secret Service detail. Because our question would be, what do the logs for Secret Service say? Because we were wondering if Joe was in the room at the time. So if you look at that, you would want to divulge at least the nature of your business. For a former vice president, speaking engagements, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would want to. Because my question would be, okay, well, what are the expenses involved? There's another thing.
Well, that was the Chinese business partner. Was that the $5 million each? Or was that Burisma? That was Burisma.
That was Burisma.
It was Burisma they were looking into. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's so many of them. There's multiple things.
They meld into one. But that's the thing. When you're doing your taxes, where's the breakdown? Okay, so you list what your revenue is. Where's the breakdown of expenses? Where's the breakdown of the nature of, well, this is what it requires, like, if you're paid for a speaking engagement, sometimes they pay for your flight, they fly you, or you fly you, and then you write off the expense and charge more for the speaking engagement.
Yeah, that was a WhatsApp message for the Chinese.
Yep, right.
That was that one, and I don't have it. I don't see the date on it.
Yeah,
there's no date on the CNN story, but it was after because he was done, and so what they're saying is the commitment was filled. Their commitment, they fulfilled their commitment. Where's our money?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the problem that they have.
So help me, the guy sitting next to me, blah, 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 blah. And we said, well, because the question had come up, well, there's one way. Was Joe actually in the room? And one way to tell would be the Secret Service detail. But he only got Secret Service detail for 6 months. And at that point, this was just past the 6 month mark.
But I do think that the Republicans need to come out when they're talking to the media and on these Sunday morning news shows and I haven't heard any of them respond that way.
Right.
How do you know? Well, the impeachment inquiry, there's no impeachable charge. We didn't say we're looking for it. Yeah, but there's no evidence that Joe ever got any money from Hunter. You saying there's no probable cause evidence? Actually, there is from Hunter Biden. We're not making the allegation. We wish to investigate because Hunter said he was supporting his father. Hunter said that they shared bank accounts. Hunter said that he and Schwerin took care of stuff for his father. Hunter said it, not us, not the Republicans, not James Comer, not Kevin McCarthy. Hunter said it. So, yeah, we're inquisitive about it. And I'm amazed that you're in the media and you don't know that.
Yeah, it was July 2017.
July 2017,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And these are, but, that's honestly, the laptop just spoils everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, because that's the evidence is not allegations from Republicans looking for a narrative
Yeah.
or a narrative looking for evidence, cherry-picking evidence.
Right.
All the evidence comes from Hunter,
from
his
Hunter.
business associates, and bank accounts.
Can't change the truth.
866-90-RED-I.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90-RED-I on Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Carly, and I'm Gary McNamara. And then you see Hunter Biden suing the IRS because the IRS whistleblowers that did everything properly. But then you're giving the whistleblowers the opportunity to blow everything out in the open, in public.
Right. What are you doing?
I mean,
honestly, you just have to ask the question, is he smoking crack again?
Yeah.
And his lawyers would have to be smoking crack again. How do you not know?
Or smoking crack. We don't know if they did it before. His
lawyers. Yes. That's a very important
we
point.
We don't want to have a defamation
we
lawsuit.
Have no idea.
We can ask the question.
Well, we'll just ask this. Is
jest.
Everybody smoking crack?
Yeah, but when I saw that lawsuit, I'm like, well, you're going to make it so the whistleblowers now can put everything out in the open in discovery.
You're bringing the whistleblowers back to the surface.
Right.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood